Alright, rainy day in Oslo. It's been snowing for a while and now the rain has come to wash it all away. Today is the full moon and the end of Jul, or Christmas as we call it in the modern calendar. So the holidays are over. The old celebration that the Vikings, the real ones up here before the Catholic invasion, they finished off Christmas this day with a thank you, burning off some lard on the fireplace to give thanks for the Yule tide that is now over, and look forward to the spring, the days getting longer and brighter and warmer. So it's good times. Full moon in Capricorn at 7 minutes into this day up here in Norway today. It's been quite okay time since last video. On the scoring board I give myself 2 more points on the spirit, 1 more on the mental and 2 more on the material. Situation: after borrowing this nice apartment over Christmas, we had a nice New Year's Eve. Me and the kids went to see some friends in Telemark. That was very nice. And then after moving out a couple of days ago from my friend's apartment, I spent one night in the car, and then another friend called me about this job about chopping down some trees, and I said yes. Though I'm not been trying to get away from that business and being a tree assassin, but money is essential these days. So I joined them for chopping down some trees, and he asked me where I lived because I think he thought he would pick me up in the morning when we were going to check out his job, and I said I'm sleeping in my car at this parking lot. So he said after checking out this job that I could stay at his office. He has a mattress there, and so now I'm at least warm at night. There's yeah, and I'm driving Volt, the DoorDash name here in Europe, and yeah, getting in at midnight, sleeping, getting up after I've slept and going back out again. So that's how the days go by, and yeah, not very exciting. That's why there's not so many points to gain for me in this game when things are like this. It's upping in the game a little bit with this tree cutting job that brings some money. Got some interviews for some jobs. The teacher job had an offer. It was actually too long, too much, and too far away from I mean, nothing is far away when you're homeless, but I want to be close to where my kids go to school and eventually get a place to stay there. So yeah, it wasn't ideal, but there's been plenty of offerings, and that's nice. It feels like there's been a little bit of a shift, and things are getting better. This is my alarm for I'm at the charging station, so now I have 10 minutes before the time is up here, but unless the city patrol don't come by, I'm good. Okay. That's wraps up my situation, I think. It's Avatar Yoga, name of today's episode. The avatar aspects I touched on a little bit. And yoga is something that I've been doing for... I started with yoga when I was in the university in Alaska. So I started with... I took my first yoga classes there. And so that started before I kind of quit the school and went on this journey. And the avatar is something I've learned about through yoga. That is actually it's a yogic term to be an avatar. It's how gods incarnate on Earth, their bodies, or as I think of it, as real players. I think we have avatars and NPCs. One thing I thought about the other day is that maybe everyone is an avatar, but the NPC programming kind of lays on top of the soul or the light that is within all people. So it's kind of a thick blanket that strangles the fire and make people behave like an NPC or a controlled unit. So yoga, meditation, good deeds, nature, attention to the moment, everything that is good, kind of peels off bit by bit this thick blanket of programming from the system. And I think yoga is something that helps us to remove this program so that our true essence and light and fire can shine. So yoga came to me, or my first reminiscence of yoga was when I was a kid at my uncle's farm, and me and a friend that came up there with me, we would put our feet up in full lotus and walk around on our knees, and we were like, oh, we're doing yoga. And my recollection is that he told me about this yoga position. It's like, oh, this is the yoga position. And his recollection is that I told him. So where we got it from, I don't know, but that's my first remembrance of doing yoga. Is I'm guessing we were maybe around 10 years old. So yeah, we full lotus, and then we would walk on our knees around. So and from that it took some years until I was then in Alaska and took yoga classes with the ski team. We did that as part of our dryland training. So then it started for me like yoga starts with many here in the wild Western society, is with physical stretching, acrobatics, gymnastics kind of exercises, which is to stretch out the body, which is good because a lot of emotions, which is energy in motion, can get stuck in what's called the fascia, after what I've heard. And that's like the bags around our muscles and our intestines, and it's like this tissue in our body. And so we need to stretch this out, and the stretching of gymnastics yoga is releasing tension. So if we go around with the feeling of, oh, I got so much weight to carry, then our shoulders can get high maybe, and they can get stiff. And when we stretch it out, we release that tension. So the physical aspect of yoga, which is stretching what's called yoga here in the West, it's quite important. In Norwegian, we actually have the same word for attitude and posture. So it's holding, and directly translated to English, it could be carrying or holding. So the way we hold our body is also how we it also reflects our attitude. Like if we hold our body like this, it's very hard to feel happy and rejoiceful and ready for the next mission, you know? But if we hold our body like this, we can feel good, be ready for everything. Even our voice or my voice changes when I hold my body in a better posture. So I've been feeling this a lot the last couple of days with my not so cool life, and that it's more challenging to walk with a good posture. But I practice this, so it will all be good because I'm practicing and I'm disciplined. Yoga means union, and I believe that that is the union between our physical and our mental, and also the spiritual. So our mental is our thought, our mind, and the physical is our body and our emotion and the world around us. And the spiritual is our breath, what keeps us alive and unites us with everyone else. And the force that keeps us alive. What I've noticed with myself is that I have not been so good on this physical aspects. And it's very easy when you get into yoga, it's like, oh, it's spiritual, and oh, you meditate, so it's mental, so you kind of, oh, money doesn't matter, or I can just live off the land and be spiritual. And that can work, but it doesn't work if it's very difficult to combine that with living in the matrix or having kids, as I do. So the physical and material aspect is very important as well, and I need to deal with this so that I can create a better situation for me and my family. And that also is important when it comes to manifestation. It's very popular with this rules or law of attachment, whatever they call it. But the thing is that to manifest what you want, there has to be harmony, but between what you feel and what you think. So positive thought can, up the way you feel in your physical body or my physical body. But I need to, what would be the word, like accept the way I feel. I can't go around and just be like, oh, I am positive and I am happy, if my body feels like, or my physical surroundings is sleeping in someone's office and taking shits at the gas station. So what I've felt lately is that there's more correlation between my emotion and my mental state. And it's nice, even though the feeling is not one of exalted happiness, but at least I feel that there is coherence between the way I feel and the way I think. And that's a good starting ground, I believe, because then I am in harmony with myself. And then I can create a better world around me. So that's what I believe is the most important thing about yoga, is this union. And it's not about going stretching in the studio or doing 50 downward dogs before 6 o'clock in the morning. It's about doing everything that we do with our attention to what we are doing and being in the moment, whether it's shoveling dirt or driving a car or talking to people or changing diapers or folding clothes. Folding clothes is probably my favorite yoga activity. I learned that when the kids were small, because when the kids are small, they have a lot of clothes and their clothes are like teeny tiny. So it's quite a challenge to fold small clothes nicely, but I got really good at it and made nice stacks, and that was like household yoga. So we can do our yoga in many aspects of our life. Most importantly, it's an eternal game, at least for me. So my yoga is to get harmony in these three aspects of the spirituality, mentality, and the material aspects of my life. So yeah, it felt actually, I just want to tell that the night I slept in my car, I started out here, you know, I was like, not so good. And then I had some bags back there, and I was like, oh, maybe if I lay on the bags and my feet out here. And so I did. And when I lay down, it's like I had this release of laughter, and it was like quite the irony that I'm sleeping in my car in the parking lot in this stage of life. But it also took me back to, that's what I did when I started off my life, when I quit the Matrix, saying no to school and traveling out in the world. I had a car about this size, and I drove through Alaska and northern Canada down to Vancouver, and I slept in my car, just like I did out there. And that was the start of a very good adventure. And it's like I'm on the second level now, starting again, sleeping in my car, and here we go. I'm excited and I'm happy about it. I am thankful to me that I showed up and made another episode, because it actually took my spirit a little bit higher. And I wish all of you a big thanks if you watched this far. It's very cool, thank you. And I wish you all the best. And God bless.